Hey crew, we can dodge void light bearer shields, finally! Now I want you guys to understand what exactly is going on with the gameplay you're watching because this build is pretty busted and we turn our pulse grenades into nukes that just destroy everything in rooms. 1, there is still the bug to resilience on Arc Titans, so I have 0 resilience in this gameplay. 2, we are locked 15 power level under in the legendary campaign, so close to the 20 that the day 1 raid race had. 3, we only shoot our heavy weapon at the boss a little bit just to get her to move on, so no other weapons used. 4, our abilities chunk so much damage and spread volt to everything so easily. 5, we always have, and I mean always have, overpowered pulse grenades. And 6, we have so many Ionic Traces helping our abilities because of the new fragment that just unlocked yesterday as well. So basically when the resilience is fixed on Arc Titan, we're going to have so much more survivability with this build, and it's going to feel like we're absolute beasts chunking infinite overpowered pulse grenades that just nuke everything around them. And if you get 2 high health targets together, it will just chain back and forth like champions or whatnot, just like the solar does. But before we get into the video, we have a sponsor on today's video. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I just hit level 96 on my account and the amount of champions and builds just keeps me coming back. My favorite thing is setting up all my different champions with the correct builds and stats to take on the harder difficulties of the Hydra clan boss to get some amazing rewards from it. I've spent so much time speccing my champions and their builds to take on this 6-headed beast, and I can't get enough of it, and I know you guys enjoy builds and you will enjoy this as well. But here is some really big news. Raid has just released a super powered legendary version of everybody's favorite champion, Death Knight. The whole Raid community has been waiting for this for a long time, and the ultimate Death Knight is everything we hoped for. He's poised, powerful, perfect, and the best part is everyone can get him for free just by logging in. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27th, and you'll receive Ultimate Death Knight to your collection. Pretty easy, right? And on top of that, you can also use the DK Rises promo code for a bunch of free items to instantly level your new strongest champion all the way to level 50. This is one of the best times to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code here that you see on screen, you'll get a unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion in Vergis, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 Asian shard so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, and just click the link in the description and I'll see you guys all over in the game. Okay, so let's jump into the build and see how everything works so you can do stuff like this that you see on screen with 2 different pulse grenades. Make sure you're using Thunder Crash because it's by far the better super of the 2. Okay, so the first thing is the class ability, the new Thruster. While grounded, quickly evade in a lateral direction. Make sure you guys are using this. It makes the Titan feel so much more fluid and smooth, and it really adds to the overall gameplay. The melee we're using is Thunderclap. I personally really like it. If you like a shoulder charge, you can trade for that. But Thunderclap does great damage. You can activate it quickly, and it just goes with chaining the abilities. Pulse Grenade is the main grenade we're taking advantage of. It pulses over time and does up to 80,000 damage by itself. We're going to pair that with Touch of Thunder. Pulse Grenades on Touch of Thunder here create Ionic Traces periodically as it damages targets and increases in damage over time. This damage starts stacking higher and higher and gets really high, up to 20k damage per tick. And then it also creates Ionic Traces periodically. So when you throw this on one high health target like a champion, you'll get 4 or 5 Ionic Traces from that one champion very easily. The next one we're running is Knockout. Critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attacks with arc energy and increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating targets with this melee attack starts health regeneration and makes you amplified. The real reason we're using this is just it's better than Juggernaut as far as our build goes, and then we want to be able to get our health back when we do get a kill with it. For the fragments, we're using Spark of Resistance. We get that extra resistance. I believe it's a 25% damage reduction. You want to be using 100 resilience with this and 100 discipline as best you can, but mainly 100 resilience, so once arc resilience is fixed, it'll come into play. For the next one, Spark of Shock, your arc grenades jolt targets, so these overpowered pulse grenades are going to jolt targets for us. And then the new one that just unlocked, Spark of Ions, defeating a jolted target creates Ionic Trace. So when you throw your pulse grenade, create Ionic Trace periodically as it damages targets. So not only are you getting Ionic Traces because you're damaging targets, you're also getting them when you defeat a target that's jolted, and our grenades jolt because of Spark of Shock. Then we're going to add Magnitude to this, Spark of Magnitude, to increase the time on that pulse grenade. So basically we're just beefing up our pulse grenade as strong as we can with this build and looping it over and over. As you saw in the gameplay, weapons really didn't matter, so use whatever you want over in your weapon slot. The new Volt Shot perk is actually really nice, so if you haven't tried it, make sure you do. Now for the armor over here on our helmet, we're running Bountiful Wells so we can double up our well generating mods, and of course double Ashes to Assets to get that super back as fast as possible. On our gauntlets, we're running Seeking Wells to make all our elemental wells come to us since we're doubling up with Bountiful Wells. Momentum Transfer, causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. Focusing Strike, or this could be traded out for a champion mod if you need it. Our chest piece is Heart of Inmost Light, and I know, it's another Heart of Inmost Light build. I know you guys are gonna say that, but listen, it's too good. Like, there's not a reason to run something else, and it sucks that it's that way, but it is that way. So when you get a ×2 empowered grenade on top of the grenade doing more damage from Touch of Thunder, and on top of it jolting and defeating for Ionic Trace and making it last longer, you see where we're going with this? Like, there's no other option to be using here. I've tested everything. I tried Armamentarium, I was trying Severance Enclosure, I went all the different routes you could go. I even went with the new Point Contact Cannon Brace, which just, in PvE, I'm going to be real with you, you shouldn't even be using it. Synthoceps does a better job in what you need to be doing, and you can get your melee back in other ways, and this just didn't do enough in PvE for me. But sorry, I'm getting off track there. Elemental Ordnance now on our chest piece to spawn elemental wells when we get a kill with our grenade, and then of course resistance mods. On our boots, another elemental ordnance, so we get more wells, right? And guess what? Another elemental ordnance on our class item. Now the other thing on our class item from the artifact that you want to be running is Trace Evidence. Defeating combatants affected by Arc debuffs spawns an Ionic Trace. Now you might think that this doesn't stack, right? Because when you defeat a target that is Arc debuffed, that would be a jolted target, right? So basically this, defeating a jolted target creates Ionic Trace because as you can see on the left hand side there, jolted is our debuff. But for whatever reason, sometimes when you kill an enemy, you will see 2 of Ionic Traces come out when that enemy dies. I was on my Warlock testing this earlier today too, which is going to be my next build for you guys. But I had 4 Ionic Traces come from a single grenade. And that's because I'm stacking multiple ways to create Ionic Traces. Now, I'm not sure if that's coded right within the game that you're supposed to get that many Ionic Traces from like one enemy, like defeating one enemy with a grenade. But I'm not joking. I have a screenshot on my Warlock getting 4 Ionic Traces from one grenade. So if you guys want to see that build, let me know down in the comments because I'll get it out to you guys. Now the other ones on the class item here is Surge Detonators, so our OP, Pulse Grenades can stun champions. And then you just want to be using, your Discipline mods to get that Discipline up. So if you guys have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments. I will try to answer them for you. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. I hope to get the Warlock video out to you soon. I want to do the new raid and get some clears in it, and I want to use the new Warlock build in there to show you guys that it is that strong. Just to show you that you can be using it in a lot of different content. So have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to showing you that next video.